Hi folks, we're back. I just went out the gate to run some goats. I don't know why when people have animals I won't let them up. Because I didn't want them to pull up the flower patch that I cleaned out yesterday. So I had to run them back. Apparently they know their way home. Because I run them, they went right up the road and turned the corner. Whew. I tell you. Try to catch my breath. Wow. Anyway, folks, let's continue. Part 2 here, still at chapter 12. In a few more weeks, Corey and Carrie stopped pleading to go outside. No longer did Carrie beat her small fist against the oak door, and Corey stopped trying to kick it down with his ineffectual small feet, wearing only soft sneakers that didn't keep his small toes from bruising. They now accepted what before they denied: the attic garden. The attic garden was the only outside available to them, and in time, pitiful as it was, they soon forgot there was a world other than the one we were locked up in. Chris and I dragged several old mattresses close to the eastern windows, so we could open the windows wide and sunbathe in the beneficial rays that didn't have to pass through dirty window glass first. Children needed sunlight in order to grow. All we had to do was look at our dying plants and register what the attic air was doing to our greenery. Unabashedly, we stripped off all our clothes and sunbathed in the short time the sun visited our windows. We saw each other's differences and thought little about them, and frankly told Mommy what we did, so we too wouldn't die from lack of sunlight. She glanced from Chris to me and weakly smiled. It's all right, but don't let your grandmother know. She wouldn't approve, as you know well. I know now that she looked at Chris and then looked at me for signs to indicate our innocence or our awakening sexuality, and what she saw must have given her some assurance. We were still only children, though she should have known better. The twins loved to be naked and play as babies. They laughed and giggled, and when they used terms such as dodo and dwiddledee, and enjoyed looking at the places where dodo came from, and wondered why Corey's dwiddledee maker was so different from Carrie's. Why, Chris? Asked Carrie, pointing at what he had, and Corey had, and she and I didn't have. I went right on reading Wuthering Heights and tried to ignore such silly talk. But Chris tried to give an answer that was correct as well as truthful. All male creatures have their sexual organs on the outside, and females have theirs tucked away inside. A smart little answer. It's a smart little answer to tell her. Yes, Kathy, I know you approve of your neat body, and I approve of my unneat body. So let us all rejoice that we have what we do. Our parents accepted our bare skins just as they did our eyes and ears, and so shall we. And I forgot. Male birds have their organs neatly tucked away inside too, like females. Intrigued, I asked, how do you know? I just know. You read it in a book? What else? Do you think I caught a bird and examined it? I wouldn't put it past you. At least I read it to improve my brain, not just to entertain it. You're going to make a very dull man. I'm warning you. And if a male bird has tucked away sexual organs, doesn't that make him a her? No. But Christopher, I don't understand. Why are birds different? They have to be streamlined in order to fly. It was another of those puzzlements, and he had the answers. I just knew the brain of brains had the answers. All right, but why are male birds made the way they are made? And leave out the streamlined part. He floundered, his face turned deeply red, and he sought a way to say something delicately. Male birds can be aroused, and makes what is in come out. How aroused? Shut up and read your book, and let me read mine. Some days were too chilly for sunbathing. Then it grew frigid. So even wearing our heaviest and warmest clothes, we still shivered unless we ran. Too soon the morning sunlight stole away the east. Too soon the morning sun stole away from the east, leaving us desolate and wishing there were windows on the southern side. But the windows were shuttered over and locked. It doesn't matter, said Mommy. The morning sun is the healthiest. Words that didn't cheer us, since our plants were dying one by one while living in the healthiest sunlight of all. As November began, the attic began to turn Arctic cold. Our teeth chattered. Our noses ran. We sneezed often and complained to Mommy that we needed a stove with a chimney, since the two stoves in the schoolroom had been disconnected. Mommy spoke of bringing up an electric or gas heater, but she feared an electric stove might start a fire if connected to many extension cords, and a chimney was also needed for a gas heater. She brought us long heavy underwear and thick ski jackets with attached hoods and bright ski pants with wool fleece lining. Wearing these clothes, we went daily into the attic where we would run free and escape the grandmother's ever-observant eyes. In our cluttered bedroom, we barely had room to walk without colliding into something to bruise our skins. In the attic, we were frantic, screaming as we chased one another, hiding, putting on small plays with frenzied activities. We fought sometimes, argued, cried, then went back to fierce play. We had a passion for hide and seek. Chris and I enjoyed making this game terribly threatening, but only mildly for the twins, who were already terrified enough of the many bad things that lingered in the dark attic shadows. Carrie earnestly said she saw monsters hiding behind the shrouded furniture. One day, we were up in the attic polar zone and searching to find Corey. I'm going downstairs, said Carrie, her small face resentful, her lips pouted. No good to try and make her escape and exercise. She was too stubborn. She sashayed off in her little red ski outfit, leaving me and Chris to hunt around to find Corey. Customarily, he was just too easy to find. His way was to choose the last place Chris had hidden. So it was our belief we could go straight to that third massive amour, and there would be Corey, crouched down on the floor, hiding under the old clothes and grinning up at us. We indulged him, avoiding this particular wardrobe for a specific length of time. Then we decided to find him, and lo, when we looked, he wasn't there. Oh my goodness. Guys, let's read what's happening. What's next? Well, I'll be damned, exclaimed Chris. He's finally going to be innovative and find an original place to hide. That's what came of reading so many books. Big words to his brains. I swiped at my leaky nose and then took another look around. If truly innovative, there were a million good hiding places in this multi-winged attic. Why? It might take us hours and hours to find Corey. And I was cold, tired, and irritable. Sick of playing this game Chris insisted on daily to keep us active. Corey, Corey, I yelled. Come out from wherever you are. It's time to eat lunch. No, that should bring him out. Meals were a cozy and homely thing to do, and they broke up our long days into separate portions. Still, he didn't answer. I flashed angry eyes at Chris. Peanut butter and grape jelly sandwiches, I added. Corey's favorite meal, which should bring him running. Still, not a sound, not a cry, nothing. Suddenly, I was scared. I couldn't believe Corey had overcome his fear of the immense, shadowy attic and was at last taking the game seriously. But just suppose he was trying to imitate Chris or me. Oh God. Chris cried. We've got to find Corey and fast. He caught my panic and whirled about to run, crying out Corey's name, ordering him out now. Stop hiding. Both of us ran and hunted, calling Corey repeatedly. Hide and seek time was over. Lunchtime now. No answer. I was nearly freezing despite all my clothes. Even my hands looked blue. Oh my God, murmured Chris, pulling up short. Just suppose he hid in one of those trunks and the lid came down and accidentally latched. Corey would suffocate. He'd die. Like crazy, we ran and looked, throwing open the lids of every old trunk. We tossed our pantaloons, shifts, camisoles, petticoats, stays, suits. Sorry, let me read that again. Like crazy, we ran and looked, throwing open the lids of every old trunk. We tossed our pantaloons, shifts, camisoles, petticoats, stays, suits, all with insane, distressed terror. And while I ran and searched, I prayed over and over again for God not to let Corey die. And we're gonna stop right there. Folks, it's getting interesting and I want to find out what happened to Corey. What happened? So I'm gonna leave you in suspense until when we come back again. We will find out what happened to Corey. So I'm gonna pause there. And I'm gonna make that little video with the plants that I planted. And you guys can tell me if you like them. Alright folks, so have an awesome Sunday. I think my phone is still acting up, so I know you might not see the pictures that clearly, but you will hear my voice. You'll hear me reading. So I just have to go on until. But thank you for joining me. Remember to tune into YouTube. It's Karen Vibes, KarenVibes with an exclamation sign. You can go on, follow my page and see what I've been reading. Follow the story. Please remember to share, like and subscribe to my page. Alright, so have a blessed week and we will be back in short order. Bye. Peace out, folks.